Okay, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a completely universal headache, and that is temporary relocation. I mean, if you've ever had to move to a new city for a few weeks or maybe a few months, you know exactly how overwhelming it can be. So today, we're breaking down the ultimate stay guide for expats, families, and business travelers looking for the best choice in Dhaka. Specifically, we're talking about furnished, serviced apartments in Bashundhara R.
Look, let's be real here. Living out of a suitcase? It gets old fast, like really fast. It is incredibly stressful to arrive in a new country totally exhausted, only to face the dread of feeling cramped in a tiny hotel room. Or worse, having to assemble flat-pack furniture in some empty apartment while you're missing, half the screws. We've all been there. It's a massive drain on your time and your energy, right when you really just need to be focusing on settling in.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to efficiently run through 1. The relocation dilemma, 2. The hassle-free solution, 3. Who needs this most, 4. Why Bashundhara R. 5. The ultimate rental comparison, and finally, 6. Finding your perfect stay.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, the relocation dilemma.
When you move, you're usually stuck between a rock and a hard place with two highly flawed options. First up, the regular hotel. Sure, it has a bed, but for an extended stay, it feels incredibly expensive and distinctly temporary, especially without a proper kitchen or a living space to just decompress. Then, on the flip side, you have the unfurnished apartment. While that definitely offers a more permanent feel, it requires a massive upfront investment. I'm talking about the time, the money, and just the exhausting effort to buy furniture, set up Wi-Fi, and arrange local utilities. Honestly, it's a total logistical nightmare.
So, moving on to Section 2, the hassle-free solution. We need the best of both worlds here.
And that solution is a furnished, serviced apartment. You can really think of this as the perfect Goldilocks middle ground. It's not too temporary, like a hotel, and it's definitely not too much work, like an empty rental. It's just right. It gives you the genuine comfort and space of an actual home, completely fused with the sheer convenience of professional services. It's truly ideal for anyone needing a ready-to-live-in space for a few weeks, several months, or even for long-term stays.
So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, you aren't just getting a bed. Depending on the property, you are stepping into fully pre-furnished rooms with actual kitchen appliances, cookware, active Wi-Fi, televisions, and even laundry facilities. Plus, you often get housekeeping, security, and maintenance rolled right in. This just completely removes that intense pressure of spending your first few weeks running around trying to buy basic household items. You literally just turn the key and start living.
Which brings us to Section 3. Who needs this most? Because, honestly, this setup isn't just some luxury for tourists.
Picture this. You're a management consultant, and you're on a 3-month project away from home. You desperately need more than just a standard hotel bed to keep your sanity, right? For business professionals, a serviced apartment means you get a distinct bedroom, a living area to actually relax in, and a kitchen to make your own morning coffee. It allows you to maintain a normal daily routine, which is absolutely crucial for your productivity and your overall well-being while you're on the road.
Or think about the expat just stepping off a long international flight. Moving to a new country comes with enough culture shock. You really don't need the added stress of figuring out how to set up local utilities or trying to buy a couch in a brand new neighborhood. The massive relief here is that you just show up with your suitcases and everything, from the Wi-Fi down to the cookware, is already handled. You can just hit the ground running with your new job and start exploring the city.
And for parents relocating their families to Dhaka, this is an absolute game changer. Moving a family is rarely an overnight process. You need time to figure out which schools are best, time to decide exactly where you want to live permanently. A serviced apartment serves as the perfect temporary home base. You get separate living and sleeping spaces for the kids, which gives everyone room to breathe, all while avoiding the ridiculous expense of buying temporary furniture for a place you're only going to be in for a few months. We also absolutely can't forget visiting academics, researchers, and students. If you're moving to Dhaka for a semester or a specific research project, you probably don't want to lock yourself into some multi-year unfurnished lease. A serviced apartment offers this really flexible, highly private environment. Plus, having your own kitchen makes everyday life infinitely easier and, let's be honest, way more budget-friendly than eating out every single night.
Finally, let's look at the corporate advantage. Companies are constantly relocating employees for training programs or temporary assignments, and arranging extended hotel stays for an entire project team, that gets astronomically expensive very quickly. A serviced apartment is a highly practical, cost-effective alternative. Even better, companies can often arrange multiple apartments in the exact same building or area, which keeps their teams close together and really cuts down on those logistical costs.
But hey, the crucial point is not just what kind of place you rent, but where you rent it. That brings us to Section 4. Why choose Bashundhara R.
Because location matters almost as much as the apartment itself. Bashundhara residential area is honestly one of Dhaka's most attractive spots because you get this modern, planned residential environment that crucially keeps you away from the chaotic noise of the busy commercial districts. Yet you're perfectly positioned. You have easy access to major roads, top educational institutions, great shopping, dining, and healthcare. It's really all about getting maximum convenience without sacrificing your peace and quiet.
Next up is Section 5, the ultimate rental comparison. Let's pit serviced apartments against unfurnished ones.
When you look at the hard data side by side, the contrast is kind of wild. The move-in process for a serviced apartment is completely quick and simple compared to the major, weeks-long setup required for a traditional lease. Housekeeping and utilities, often already integrated rather than being entirely your headache to arrange. And perhaps most importantly, your initial setup cost is generally much lower for a serviced apartment compared to the massive upfront costs of buying the whole shebang for an empty space. This definitively proves the financial and, honestly, the mental health benefits of going the serviced route for short to medium-term stays.
All right, let's wrap this up with Section 6, finding your perfect stay.
Now, before you sign on the dotted line, you definitely need to do a little homework. Because exact services can vary from property to property, you must always confirm exactly what is included. Compare the rental terms, verify how maintenance and security are handled, and double-check that housekeeping schedule. You want to make absolutely sure that the apartment you choose genuinely fits your lifestyle, your budget, and the specific needs of your stay.
If you're looking for that perfect, hassle-free spot in Bashundhara R, REIT Limited is definitely the go-to solution. They specialize in exactly these kinds of properties. You can easily reach out to them directly by calling +880-1711-993377 or simply visit their website at hotels.com.bd to start exploring your options and really find the right place during this important transition.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Think about the pure value of convenience. When you don't have to spend your first month in a new city shopping for mattresses, arguing with internet providers, and basically living out of cardboard boxes, what will you achieve with all those weeks of time you save by simply turning a key? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and here's to finding your perfect, ready-to-live-in home.